Okay, so the list, our list can be empty, so we can have a just a empty list. As you guys gonna see wood, and you guys can have a very empty. It means when your wood, when you type wood, and we have a typo here, when you type wood, it means it's empty list. You guys, as I said to you guys, you guys can put this one, you guys can put a wood list, so you can copy this one. I will copy and I'm gonna paste it here. So where is my copy paste? Okay, so now I have those ones, and if I put a wood list, so I'm gonna have a typo again. Okay, so that's my table, bed, cupboard, dining table, whatever. So this is as an example of homogeneous, and the second one is heterogeneous. And if you're gonna come here and copy, and I'm gonna clear the screen again, so we're gonna put this guys here again, and that's heterogeneous, and we put a different list. And you guys gonna see different elements, so I'm gonna make it bigger, and I'm gonna clean it, so because every time I do, you can see the old ones. So, and the next one is if you put a Corayo, and if you put a list, you guys can have say Trump, for example. We put a Trump with a single one, and then you can have a float. You can have a 60.70, and guess what, you can have this guy is here. And when we do Corayo, you guys gonna have that's your objects inside your list. Okay, so and we're gonna come here as a nested list, and if you can put your nested list, and the examples are like say yes Danny. Okay, so then you guys can put a Joe with keep in mind, look in here, I'm using double quotation and single quotation here. So with the Joe, and you guys can have a nested, you guys can have another list within a list, and we can have a double, for example, and in our list then we have a 500, for example. Now this is a nested list, so if you put a nested, we can see that double. So we can come here and put a print. It means that nested, it means that we can still have this our nested list. So how about if we put a say wood, for example, and we put a list of say we put a list of say Corayo, for example, and when we do wood, you can see Corayo. Have a look at here. So we put a list of Corio, Corayo. This is my channel name, and you can see this is a Corayo. I can give you, this is the simplest example I can give you. So how about if we put a range? We can put a range to our list, so we can put a list, and I'm just pressing the scroll up, scroll down. You guys can do that, which where this is there is carrots facing up, facing down on my right hand. Where the space is, there is alt, there's control, and beside the control under the shift, you guys can do that. You guys can do your practice if you guys want to do that. So here I've got a Corayo, and it's a list. How about I want to put a range? I can put a range as well. So in my list, so I'll come here and I'll put a range. Range, it means which range you guys want. You guys can put it inside your list, and we say -2, for example, to 2, for example. That's our range we want. Okay, so now we put a red wood, and you look at here, that's our range. We put a -2, or say you guys want to put a range -22 to 22, for example, +22, and when we do wood, you guys can see all your range. So that goes here from 21 all the way to 0, and from 0 all the way to -22. You guys can put a range in your list as well. You guys can concatenate. I'm gonna clear here. So if you guys put a list 1, and you guys can have a number or whatever you guys want to have, and you guys can concatenate that one. Say my list one's got a QD, for example. I'm going to put my name Q, and list 2 have say Yazdani, for example. You can put your own name, no problem, Yazdani. So you can have say list 1 plus list 2, or you can have a list 3 is equal to list 1 plus list 2. That's a concatenation. You guys do that because you guys gonna see your list 1, the list is merged. So this is one list, is an object, and you guys see because there is a literal string here, and list 2 is also an object. Python sees this an object, computer sees this an object, it sees that as string. And when you guys gonna come in here and put a list 1 and put a list 2 combine, you guys gonna see that is combined both of them. Means is it can combine the two. Look at here, there is one list, single list, and you can combine the list together. You can find the list, the length of the list, because this is an object, and you can find that the list of 1, you can find the length. Okay, so we have a typo there. We put a list 1, and there's only 1 items inside. So if you put a say list 2, it's 1 items inside there, because there is 1 item in each list. So if you combine, say we put a list 3, for example, list 3, list 1 plus list 2, because we are concatenating again, and if you put a list 3, we're gonna have the same. But if you put a length of list 3, you guys gonna have a 2, because now the list 3 gonna have a list 1 plus list 2. Now it's gonna be list 3. Alright, so we're gonna clear the screen again. So we can do that. As I said here, a list can be modified, edit, removed, or changed. So we're gonna see how it works. So I'm gonna clear again, and we're gonna put a list 3. For example, we're gonna multiply 2, for example, and you guys gonna see our list multiply 2. You guys can put a multiply 3, because you guys can have a Q Yazdani, then the second one, and that's the third one. You guys can do multiplication, and you guys can append. So we put a list 3 dot append. You guys can use the method append, and what you guys want to append, you guys say you guys want to append 3, for example, and we put a list 3, and you guys going to see that we put number 3 here, because we have a number 1, number 2, and number 3 here. So we put a number 3 because we are appending. It means you guys adding something on top. So you guys say if you guys want to extend, you guys can put a list 3, and you guys can put extend, and you guys extend means you guys can put another one inside. So you guys can put your list, and you guys can say 8, 9, 10, 11, for example. And now if you put a list 3, you guys are going to see that that was from there, and we put a 8, 9, 10. That was we are extending. So extending and appending is very close to each other. So that's our list 3. So you guys can numerically, so you guys can put a number, and your number list, you guys can put say your number is 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, and if you look your number is 1, 2, 3. So how about if you do number and you put another number inside? So you guys gonna put a 1, 2, and you guys can put another 1, 2, 3 inside. So we're gonna make a nested loop. So we're gonna 1, 2, and 3. So you guys gonna have now when you see your number, it's a nested nested. If you guys looking here, that's your integer 1 2, and you guys gonna see the nested inside there. So now you can have a nested list. So how about if you guys want to find out, say, list, and you guys want to put a print, and you guys want to put your number, and the number you guys want to find out the first one. Okay, so I'm gonna come here, and that's the first one is gonna be, because it's 0, and that's the first one is gonna be number 2. So what about if you guys can have come here and it says -1, for example, and it's gonna be 3. Look in this side. Alright, so we're gonna put, as I said to you guys, we can do comparison. That's a list, it's a class list, and as I said to you guys, our lists are objects, and you guys gonna have here this, when it says list, it means it's a class list in Python, because we didn't specify which list we want. If you put a list 1 and you have a queue, and if you put a list 2, we can have a queue. So we want to say if list 1 is equal to, say, list 2, for example. If it's the same, it says false, because this guys here is equal totally different to this guys here. So how about we do list 1 is comparison, means it's true, because q and q is true, and q in Yazdan is false, because they're totally different literal strings. They're both literal strings, but they are totally different. You guys can compare that one with your list, because lists are object. So you guys can say you have a number, and if you do print number, and that's your number, say we say 4 3 in number, because you guys asking that if it's 3 exists in a number, and it means it's true, because 3 exists in a numbers, because we here 1 2 3. So how about if we put a 3, we put a, say, a number that doesn't exist, so we put a 5, for example, because our list doesn't have a 5, and it's false, because we are asking if our 3 exists in the number, it says yes, and when we say 5 exists in number, it means it's false, because it doesn't exist in here.